All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Welcome to our community workshop or virtual community workshop for Caldwell Station Tributary Greenway. My name is Bert Lynn. I'm the Capital Planning Division Director for Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and discuss one of our new and exciting Greenway projects. This project somewhat embodies the potential that our broader Greenway network holds by making meaningful connections to existing and future destinations. In this case, this project will connect to Caldwell Station Creek Greenway. It will expand access to that existing Greenway system to some communities in Cornelius, and also provide another way to access the forthcoming Northern Regional Recreation Center. So again, thank you for joining us. Next slide, please. There we go. All right. So tonight we have a number of folks that represent our partners in this project. As with most of our projects, we don't do it alone. It takes many hands to do the work that we do. Tonight from Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation, including myself, our Director Lee Jones is in attendance. Our Deputy Director Peter Cook is here. Katie Lloyd, our Senior Planner, is with us, and Katie Daughtry, Planner with Park and Recreation. The Project Manager for this project, Jen Brooks, is here from Mecklenburg County Asset and Facility Management. We're joined tonight by John DeKemper from Cornelius Park, and Juan Morales and John Koch are with us from Alta Planning and Design, and they are leading our consultant team for this project. They're actually doing the design for us. Next slide, please. Before we get started, I wanted to walk you through some of the features of our virtual meeting platform in case you haven't been spending as much time as I have on Zoom over the past 6 months or so. So it's important that everyone stays muted throughout the presentation. You will notice a button shaped like a microphone at the bottom left of your screen. In some cases, it may be in a pull-down menu at the top of your screen. A red line through that microphone indicates that you are muted. There will be an opportunity at the end, if we've got enough time, to ask questions, and we'll make sure to let everybody know how to indicate if they have a question to ask out loud at that time. If you'd like, you're encouraged to turn on your video. We know this forum isn't quite as nice as meeting face-to-face, but we want to make sure that we hear your input and keep everybody safe. You can turn your camera by using the Start Video button on the bottom of your screen. It's shaped like an old school movie camera. If you have any questions or comments throughout the presentation, please use the chat function. There's a button at the bottom of your screen to bring up your chat box. And so we're going to use this time to test that out a little bit. So please type your name, your zip code, and your favorite park, greenway, nature preserve, or recreation center in Mecklenburg County there. And I'll give everybody a minute to do that. All right, we got some filtering in. North Mecklenburg Park, Bailey Road Park, one of the nice parks in the town owns and operates. Those are dominating. Stevens Grove Trails. Oh, we got a Jeton there. I would agree. I like the walking loop at Jeton myself. I'll remind everybody that we are recording the video tonight. So if you have friends or family who aren't able to join us, we'll post a link a little bit later in the chat box of our public input site, which most of you should be familiar with because that's where you went to sign up for the meeting. But we'll post a link to that video there, and it will be available for folks to use moving forward. So with that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Katie Daughtry with Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation, who's serving as the planner on this project to get us moving forward.
Thank you, Bert, and thank you everybody for those great responses in the chat. It's always exciting to see how folks like to use our park and greenway system, our nature preserves as well. And we encourage everybody to go out and experience some of our other places in the county. I personally have taken this pandemic opportunity to kind of get out and see some areas of the county that I'm not as familiar with, and it's been really great. So as Bert said, I'm Katie Daughtry. I'm the planner for this project with Mecklenburg County Park and Rec. I wanted to begin with an overview of the greenways and our greenway trails. Greenways are strips of undeveloped land near urban areas set aside for recreational use or environmental protection. We build greenway trails to activate this land as linear parks that connect people, places, and by linking neighborhoods, offices, parks, schools, and other areas. These trails often provide alternative ways to move through our cities, suburbs, and small towns, both for transportation and recreation. Paved walking and biking trails are the #1 requested amenity by residents of Mecklenburg County, according to the citizen surveys completed as part of our 2015 and current 2020 master plan update. Our current master plan calls for over 300 miles of greenway trails along creeks and streams, and 200 miles of urban trails along roadways and through urban areas. Currently, more than 55 miles of greenway trails are completed with a goal to add 30 miles of new trail between 2019 and 2023. To accomplish that goal and to meet community demand, we and our partners are working on an accelerated greenway plan that includes over 40 miles of trail currently in design or construction. This map shows the locations of all greenway projects we are working on through the Accelerated Greenway Plan. The blue dots indicate projects which are funded through our 5-year capital improvement plan. The magenta dots represent the 5 new projects that were funded last year to meet community demand and to increase access to our trail network. The Caldwell Station Tributary Greenway Project is an accelerated greenway project in northern Mecklenburg County within the town of Cornelius. Caldwell Station Trib Greenway is shown on the map on the left in orange and circled there in magenta. The black lines show our existing trails, and the dashed lines show future trails that are currently unfunded. This project will connect existing Caldwell Station Greenway, which is the black trail to the left of what's circled, to the new Northern Regional Rec Center, which is currently under construction. Existing Caldwell Station Greenway, which is shown on the map on the right, is approximately 2.3 miles and starts near the intersection of Statesville Avenue and North Cross Center Court. It ends just north of the intersection of Old Statesville Avenue and Bailey Road. We wanted to give you a quick update on Northern Regional Rec Center because I know you folks probably drive by it every day and are curious about the status of it. So as you probably know, we started construction around January of this year, and we anticipate that we will complete the project in late 2021. The amenities that will be available once the facility is open include aquatics, a fitness and senior center, gardens, and outdoor recreation options. Folks will be able to use the rec center with through what we call the MEC Pass, which is a monthly fee that ranges from $22 for youth and seniors to $65 a month for families. And you'll have access to all the amenities available there should you want to purchase one of those. Here's a site plan view of the Northern Regional Rec Center. As many of you probably have seen, they are making a temporary connection, trail connection to Caldwell Track Drive. Additionally, the trail through the rec center site will connect to the sidewalk on Old Statesville Avenue. It's anticipated that the town will fill in 2 critical sidewalk gaps on Old Statesville Avenue around the same time that the rec center will open. Filling in these gaps will allow a pedestrian to walk from the new rec center to downtown Cornelius going north, or to the main entrance of the Caldwell Station neighborhood going south. Now I'm going to turn our presentation over to Juan Morales of Alta Planning and Design, our consultant, to walk you through the different elements of our Greenway project.
Thank you, Katie. Can you hear me well?
We can. Thank you, Juan.
All right. So, hello, everybody. I'm Juan Morales with Alta Planning and Design. As Katie mentioned, the Caldwell Station Tributary Greenway is generally located between Stateville Road and Old Stateville Road, and to the northeast of the North Cross Shopping Center, and to the southwest of Bailey Road Park. That's kind of the general location, and this map shows that general location of the Greenway. The project consists of an approximately 1 mile long trail that connects the existing Caldwell Station Greenway to the new Northern Regional Recreation Center that is under construction, as Katie mentioned. The Greenway runs parallel to the Caldwell Station Tributary Creek within the Duke easement, and is designed to include 2 neighborhood connections, one at Caldwell Depot Road and the other one at Caldwell Track Drive. The design team is currently looking at option for a potential connection to the Hyde Park development. Next slide, please. All right, so starting on the west end, the new asphalt trail shown in green will start at the existing Caldwell Station Greenway. You can see that connection on the aerial photograph shown on the left. The new Greenway will connect approximately on the red dot that is being shown on the slide, and it's just to the south of the neighborhood connection at Psalm Street. In this area, the trail will run on the north side of the creek and at the back side of the residential and commercial properties. Next slide, please. As the trail continues to the northeast, it will cross the creek twice. Between these 2 crossings, the trail will stay at the south side of the creek and will run between the residential lots and the Duke transmission tower. The Caldwell Depot Road connection will be located right after the first crossing, where the Greenway will have a concrete surface and connect to the existing sidewalk. After the second crossing, the trail transitions to the wooded area and runs on the north side of the creek. Next slide, please. On this final segment, the trail will remain on the north side of the creek until it connects with the Regional Recreation Center trail that is currently under construction. The aerial shown on the left side of the slide is pretty recent and kind of shows what is currently going on at the site. As part of the project, the temporary connection to Caldwell Track Drive will be enhanced to create a community focal point that we're going to show on the next slide, but I'm going to transition that to Katie, I guess.
Thank you, Juan. Yeah, so as I mentioned previously, the Regional Recreation Center is building what we're kind of calling a temporary connection to Caldwell Track Drive, and temporary meaning that we're going to do some enhancements there, and it won't be just a sidewalk, essentially. So if you were able to play around on our website at all, you saw that we provided 2 concepts for what that might look like at Caldwell Drive or Caldwell Track Drive. Option A on the left is what we're calling the lawn concept, which is a curved trail that creates a lawn that could be used by the community as a gathering space or an area for play. Option B on the right is what we're calling the plaza concept. The trail would make a more direct connection in this option, but benched seating would be built into the plaza. These are some real world examples of how the two options might look once built. So option A on the left would be the lawn option, and option B on the right would be the plaza option. The polling that we conducted through the public input website for this project showed that 62% of respondents preferred the plaza option, with 38% preferring the lawn option. The final design for this area is not yet determined, but we realize that there's a need to balance the design with the interests of both the residents in the immediate vicinity and the community at large. And it's worth noting that the folks who live really close by really prefer that lawn option. So we're certainly taking all of that feedback into consideration before finalizing anything. Finally, this is an example of our wayfinding signage package that we use across the entire county. We have pedestrian scale signs at entrances and along the trail to indicate mile markers. At points, we also include kiosk signage to show maps, rules, and other important information. In addition to signs, benches, garbage cans, and mutt mitt stations will also be provided at various points along the trail. We are also currently in the process of adding benches along the existing Caldwell Station Greenway, which many of you probably use and have noticed that they don't exist there currently. We're excited about the opportunity to get this trail on the ground as soon as we can. Our current goal is to complete the design and permitting by spring of 2021. This allows us time to finalize the real estate acquisition process and put the project out to bid sometime next spring. We hope to begin construction next summer and complete the project in spring of 2022. While these are our target dates, please note that any delays in real estate or permitting can extend the timeline for completion. At this time, we'd like to go over some of the questions that were submitted through the website. We, by the way, got great feedback and great participation. As y'all are probably aware, this whole virtual platform is new to everybody. So we're really getting our groove with some of this, and it's really fun to see folks catch on to these things and really participate at the level that they are. So one of the questions we were asked was, who would be responsible for maintaining the trail? So Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation is building and maintaining this trail. So once the trail is on the ground and you need to contact anybody for any reason, whether it's a maintenance issue or what have you, you will call Mecklenburg County Park and Rec. Another question that we were asked is if privacy fences would be built to respect the adjoining property owners. So typically Mecklenburg County Park and Rec nor the Town of Cornelius Park Department builds privacy fences for adjoining property owners along these greenway trails. However, each owner is always free to build a fence on their property if they wish. Someone asked if there were plans to add a pump track for skateboarders, longboarders, etc. At this time, no additional amenities are planned for the trail itself. Of course, you're going to have the rec center close by that's going to have a ton to do there, which we all hope you enjoy. Will the Greenway Trail have lighting? So it's the county standard not to light our greenways. Greenway trails are typically located within the floodplain. So even if we wanted to light the trail, it can prove to be very challenging to run electricity into the floodplain. And also, I think it's worth noting that the existing section of Caldwell Station Greenway isn't lit. We had another question about access to North Cross Shopping Center or Bailey Street. So yes, this trail is going to connect to existing Caldwell Station Greenway, and that greenway connects to both Bailey Road and North Cross Center Court. So by way of that trail, you will be able to hop on this trail and get to those locations. We were also asked if cameras could be placed at the entrances or along the greenway for safety. So we find that the majority of crime on park property occurs at our trail and park parking lots. And that's typically items being taken out of cars. Due to limitations in budget and environmental constraints within the floodplain, we typically prioritize cameras at those locations. Our standard practice is to not provide lighting or cameras along greenway trails, which we previously talked about the lighting. Another great comment that we got was about the future road connection at Caldwell Depot over to the Hyde Park commercial development. So we're aware of that project or that future road connection. The county intends to build the Greenway connection to Caldwell Depot as part of this project. The future road connection between Caldwell Depot and Hyde Park is not adequately funded at this time, according to the town. The road connection could occur in the future if funding becomes available. And at that time, I think the town has expressed that they would certainly be gathering input from the community to determine if there's support for the project. Should that road get constructed in the future, the current trail would be accommodated. And, you know, that means that all the connection to Caldwell Depot would, you know, it may have to be reconfigured, but all of that would essentially remain. And lastly, the last question we had submitted through the website was if no parking signs could be added to the streets near these neighborhood connections to eliminate Greenway parking. So we don't like to do that up front because we recognize that eliminating on-street parking for the Greenway also eliminates on-street parking for the residents of the community. So we like to kind of take the wait and see approach to see if you have a problem. Should that issue arise once the trail opens, then we will certainly work with the community and with the town to put up some no parking signs. And one other thing of note is something that we've done on some other projects is as part of our overall wayfinding package, which is the signs that we talked about a few slides ago, is we'll put up a sign saying, you know, hey, this is where parking is allowed. And for your community, then the nearest parking lot is going to be at the Regional Rec Center, which isn't terribly far away. So before we move on, I think we wanted to go over any questions that have been submitted through the chat.
Hey, Katie, this is Bert. So I'll go through a couple. Let's see. One was asking if we mentioned that the Caldwell track entrance is temporary.
Right. So so it's temporary in design in terms of how it's connecting. The Northern Regional Rec Center, they're connecting it with basically like what would be equivalent to just a small sidewalk. So our plan as part of this project is to do some enhancements to that to make it more of a community focal point. So the connection will remain, it's just going to be enhanced.
Okay. And then Mary also mentioned that she lives fairly proximate to that Caldwell Track Drive entrance. And she was one that was concerned about the more formal kind of seating area in there. And so, Mary, I think part of what we're looking at doing there is doing something that's maybe more like option A, closer to the road. And then potentially adding some kind of a spot where folks can congregate beside the trail deeper into the site. But that's something that our design team at Alta and Katie at Park and Recreation and Jen at Asset and Facility Management are working to look at some solutions there. We do have a hand raised. The name, it's PJN76. If you'd like to ask your question.
Yes, hello. My name is Patrick Nelson, and I live actually at the second intersection, or the second entrance, it looks like. I live at train station and Caldwell Depot. And so, yeah, that one right there, yeah. My house is literally right next to that. It's the one with the one car garage. So I have a couple questions. Is that going to be construction is going to be set at the same time as the first entrance? And what are the design? What is the design for that?
So I'm going to let our consultant take that question. So Juan, if you don't mind.
Yes, yes, I was trying to unmute on two sides. So can you guys repeat that question? My connection missed a little bit of it, and I just want to make sure that we can answer that well.
Sure. I live literally right next to that red dot in the middle there, the second entrance.
Mhm.
My house is right there where that dead end is. I'm on the left side of it. My question is twofold. So is that entrance going to be in construction the same time as the first one? And two, we've seen mock-ups of what the first entrance will look like at the Caldwell track, but I'm kind of curious, are there any mock-ups of what it's going to look like at the second entrance?
All right, so the trail, these trails are constructed generally from one side to the other side. So let's say we start, we don't know yet where we're gonna start, but if we start at the east, we're gonna end construction at the west, and if we start at the west, we're gonna end at the east, because all the construction materials are gonna be stored and staged along the area that is being disrupted. So in other words, we're not gonna open disruptions all over the place. So we'll pick one side. And so short answer is no, they're not gonna be done at the same time.
Okay. Thank you. My last question is just for consideration. Will there be kind of a heads up notice before construction does begin? My concern is just, I have a privacy fence there, but I'm, concerned about just a bunch of people in that area, and potential impact to my property and stuff like that. And then back to the question about parking, around that area, there's several no parking signs already. The neighbor across the street from me, actually on that side of that dead end, it says no parking. So on my side is where there is street parking. However, if there's a bunch of people parking there, I don't have a lot of space to park right now as is. So we do park over there. So I just want to make sure that's taken into consideration.
I can answer the fence question, and I let Katie and Bert take the lead on the parking. We are not, the plans are gonna show plenty of information that will indicate the contractor not to disturb the fence. Okay. If anything is needed to be done near the fence, we'll coordinate with you. We'll let you know. And but the plan is not to disrupt any of the fences that are currently at the site. And I'll let Bert and Katie answer the parking question.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, I can take that. So as an add-on, we typically do send a notice of construction out, and we'll definitely update the public information site. And with the number of houses that we have in this area, I think those that are proximate to this project, and especially yourself and Mary and others who may be on the call or other not on the call, let you know ahead of time, when to expect construction to begin there. In terms of the parking, I think what you said is one of the reasons that we don't like to go directly to putting no parking signs up, because that means nobody can park there. You and your neighbors may want to park there, or if you have, folks coming to, I had a plumber out in front of my house a couple of weeks ago. They wouldn't be able to park on the road if I had a no parking sign there. So like we've done in past projects, we would share that parking for the Greenway use is not to be done here, and we show a map of where that closest location would be where folks are welcome to go and park.
Okay.
So thanks for your questions, Patrick.
All right. Thank you.
Let's see, we had a couple of additional questions come in. Let me go and see what we had there. Tim thanked us for mentioning closing the sidewalk gaps to connect to Caldwell Station and then the path that's along Bailey Road at Bailey Road Park. Jeff asked about mowing and trash pickup. So I believe that will be done by Mecklenburg County forces and contractors that are hired through Mecklenburg County. Typically that mowing is done, I think it's 26 weeks out of the year, and it's done every couple of weeks or so. And then we'll have park rangers that are out more frequently than that, making sure that trash cans are emptied, mutt mitts are stocked, and make sure there are no, fallen trees or debris or anything like that in the area. Let's see. Will the Greenway, Katie, this might be a question for you. Will the Greenway connect to the existing multi-use path across from Caldwell Track Drive within Hyde Park?
So we have been talking internally about a connection to Hyde Park. I'm not 100% certain where their multi-use path is located within that business development, but we are exploring kind of where Caldwell Depot and the road, I'm assuming that's also called Caldwell Depot across the creek, where those kind of line up. We are exploring a pedestrian connection to the other side of the creek, to that business park. But at this stage, we're not, 100% sure how or if we're even going to be able to make that connection.
And this might be an opportunity for Jen to step in as well. I believe some of the concern that we have there is the change in topography or elevation between where the trail is going to be and where the road is. Is that right?
That's right. There are quite a few site conditions that we need to take a closer look at that have to do with topography and other regulatory concerns with existing stormwater infrastructure and as well as real estate.
Okay. I did get a question through the private chat about if we've done any studies on what the entrance will look like at train station and Caldwell Depot. I don't think we've got anything that has been done to the level of the Caldwell track. Part of that has to do with the fact that we've got a little bit more room to play in the property ownership that we have at the Caldwell track entrance. The entrance at train station and Caldwell Depot will most likely be closer to some of our typical entrances, which include our wayfinding, include bollards to keep vehicles off the trail, landscape improvements, boulders and things of that nature. So that might be something that Juan will want to look at and work through and maybe post on the public input site in the coming weeks. So Katie, those are all the questions that I've gotten so far. So I would ask if anybody else has a question, you're free to write that.
I got a question.
Okay. Who's this?
So this is James Holston. I live on Train Station Drive.
Hey, James.
Just a couple houses northeast of where I believe Patrick was his name. I live just to the northeast of the big power line. I'm just wondering, has anyone walked up this hill here, and how close to the power line is the trail going to be, the Greenway going to be? Because there's severe elevation drops on both sides.
Thank you, James, for that question. Juan, I'm going to ask you to take that one.
All right. So, of course, yeah, we have looked at it. We have walked the site, and we have topographic information of the site, and we are taking into consideration the drop, the grade drop that is there. We cannot be too close to the transmission tower. I believe it's gonna be 50 feet from it.
You have to be 50
And,
feet away from it.
From the transmission line, from the tower, the transmission tower. And we are gonna be on to the northwest of the swale, the existing swale that is behind the residential lots. So we're squeezing the trail in between the transmission line or the transmission tower and the existing swale.
Hey, Juan,
Okay, I'm just curious as to how much excavation is going to have to happen because of how much of a hill is on my side of the Greenway versus the other side, the creek side.
gotcha. Hey, Juan, a quick clarification. I believe Duke requires us to be 25 feet away from the base of the tower.
25, yeah.
Or the base of well, this is the broader tower, but the poles as well. Is that right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. 25 total. Yeah. 50, all the sites. Yeah. So 25 in the southeast direction, and we're gonna be next to the swale. How much excavation you were asking? I cannot answer that question on cubic feet or at what level you will need that answer, but we are making sure that we're following 4-to-1 slope, which Duke requires in that area. So it's going to be a really smooth slope on both sides of the trail. So in other words, you're not going to see any abrupt grade changes there. It's going to be smooth.
Yeah, I'm just more worried about how close this greenway is going to be to the back of my house, because of what I'm looking at, there's only one spot you can do it. And if you have to be 25 feet away from the power line, it's going to really encroach on my backyard. So the closer you get to my backyard, the more excavation is going to happen. I just wonder if anybody's walked it, because it's pretty steep is all I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah, James, I think we understand where you're coming from there. We have walked it. We've completed the survey there, and we've completed a couple of rounds of grading studies for the elevation of the trail that helps us understand how much excavation that will do. And so through that, we've got enough room or enough buffer kind of between the trail and any of the neighboring properties to keep all of that grading work on the property that's controlled either by the county or by the town.
Sounds good. Looks like we'll find out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to post your email address in the private chat to me, or actually I'll just post my email address to you in the chat.
Sounds good.
Then we can follow up and I can give you a little bit more detailed information once the drawings get to that point.
I'd appreciate that. I thank you for your time.
Yep, absolutely.
And my information also will be available at the end of the presentation, so everybody can jot that down as well.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't think we've had any other questions posted in the chat. So let's move through the final couple of slides, and then at the very end, if anybody has additional questions, we can get to those.
Thank you, Bert. So one quick note before we wrap this up. Mecklenburg County is currently going through an endeavor to update our master plan for our countywide system. So we would really encourage folks to go to mecplaybook.com for more information on that. We had some public meetings back in September, but there's lots of information posted on the website where you can provide us with some additional feedback. I believe that closes October 31st. Am I correct about that? yeah, so we've got a little more time for folks to participate in that planning effort, and we encourage everyone to do so. And then lastly, here's my information for folks who may want to check in periodically for project updates. Feel free to call me or email me, and I will get you the latest and greatest information that we have. And we will also be updating that public input website. So anytime you are curious kind of what the status of things might be, feel free to check back on that and reach out. We certainly appreciate everyone's feedback tonight, and we've had great participation so far. So thank you to everyone for taking a little time out of your evening. And we look forward to this project getting started. And we hope that everyone really enjoys this new amenity in their community.
Katie, before we go, I wanted to give Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation Director Lee Jones opportunity to share some closing thoughts.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Bert, and thank you, team. This is Lee Jones, and on behalf of Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation, I want to thank you all for taking the time, your personal time, which is your most valuable time, to participate in this community workshop. I learned a lot tonight. I've been working sort of on the periphery, looking at this project and a lot about the concerns. I like the way it was conducted. I like your candid questions and how I think it's going to move us forward to bring this project to fruition. So on behalf of County Manager Dina R. DiOrio and the chair of the Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners, George Dunlap, our partners in the town of Cornelius, their board, town manager, their park and recreation department, our consultants, and you, the residents and citizens, the most vital component of this. Thank you for making this all possible. And we look forward to keeping the communication line going and to complete this project. So thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everybody.